Hello, it's Jen Millard with Counseling You into Adulthood, and today I have a video specifically for you high school students in Minnesota. So those of you in 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, and some of you even in 12th grade, this is for you. If you are outside of Minnesota, this might pertain to you. You'll need to talk to your school counselor because every state is going to have different requirements, different availability of these options. So definitely make an appointment and talk with your counselor about it. But we have a very cool program here called PSEO, or Post-Secondary Enrollment Option. And basically what it means is you could have the option to go to college during high school for free, entirely for free. It's an awesome option. I was able to take that option myself, and when I graduated from high school, I had 2 years of college done and paid for by the Minnesota taxpayers, which means I was able to graduate from the University of Minnesota when I had just turned 20, I believe. I think I had just had my 20th birthday like 2 weeks prior. So I was moving along very quickly, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to move along quickly. I had plans to get my master's and maybe do even more with that. So it worked out very well for me. I have very, very minimal loans for college. So it was a fantastic option for me. And so it might be a great option for you. And that's why I wanted to tell you about it, because I know a lot of schools are not able to share this option, and I want you to know. So here's the nitty-gritty about it. Basically, what happens is those of you in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade can apply to a Minnesota college of your choice, okay? If you want to do online classes, it really opens up your choice to any college that has an online class that you'd be interested in taking, okay? But you would apply as a PSEO student. They all have that option when you actually go into their application. It says, do you want to apply as an incoming freshman or as a PSEO student? And so you would tell them you want to apply as a PSEO student. But you're going to go through the full application process. And because you've told them you want to apply as a PSEO student, the application is free. But so you do have to apply and be accepted. And on each of the college's websites, typically they will tell you what they're looking for in terms of GPA and class rank for them to accept you as a PSEO student. Typically, there's some general rules of thumb for many of the colleges. So for a 9th grader, you're not going to be able to do PSEO. Okay, it's just the general rule of thumb. It doesn't happen. As a 10th grader, very, very few of you would be able to do it, but it does happen. Usually what they're going to say is, as a 10th grader, you need to be in the top 10% of your class. So that means there's, very few of you in your high school who would be able to do it in your grade, but just the top 10% of you. And what happens is they give you your first semester to try a CTE class. So they're going to give you just a small list of classes that you can pick from, and they want to just see how you do in those classes. Okay, if things go well, usually they say you have to earn a C or better, but if you do and things go well that first semester, then they'll say, okay, now next semester, you can go ahead and pick from any of the PSEO classes. And typically, there's a huge variety of hundreds of classes. But they want to see how you do that first semester because you are young, right? You're a 10th grader. You haven't had a lot of high school classes under your belt yet. So they just want to make sure that you're ready, both academically and, as far as your maturity goes, that you're ready to handle those classes. So once you get past that first semester, then you're able to go ahead and, continue on with any other PSEO classes that anybody else would be able to take. So that's as a sophomore or 10th grader. As a junior, typically what they're looking for is someone who's going to have a 3.25 or going to be in the top third of their class. And if you're looking for these stats, if you're not sure where you are, you're going to need to ask your school counselor or look on your transcript if you have that, or on your report card. And then as a senior, typically then they're going to say a 3.0 or in the top half of your class. And these are rough guidelines. Like I said, every college gets to pick their own guidelines, but these tend to be kind of the norm for what they're looking for PSEO students. But again, they all get to pick their own. The university is the most stringent University of Minnesota Twin Cities. And I believe the last I read was usually that they cap it at about 500 students. And they have a very early acceptance deadline, and some others have a very late deadline. So you're going to have to start looking early on if you have a very specific school in mind that you want to go to for this. So if you want to go to school in the fall, you're going to want to make sure that you're looking in the spring. Some of them have a June 1st deadline, some have a July 1st deadline for you to be able to start fall classes. Others say we just need you to be signed up before classes start, which might be middle of August, late August, or even early September. If you want to start in the spring, which technically is not Minnesota spring, but it's usually the beginning of January is when spring classes start, then usually like November 1st or December 1st is the deadline for you to apply to get into classes. And usually those are hard deadlines. So like if you call and say, oh, I didn't see the deadline was November 1st and it's November 5th, typically they're going to say, we're sorry, you'll need to wait and apply for the next round, for the next admissions period. So you really need to be, kind of on your toes and watching those deadlines. Okay. But so that's kind of how that works, is you'll apply as a PSEO student. And that application, like I said, is free if you're doing PSEO, because there is no cost to you as a PSEO student. When you are looking for schools that you want to go to, like I said, if you want to do online classes, then, the whole state is open to you to look at schools. But I would encourage you to look at the course catalogs for each of the schools that you want to go to or that you're considering looking at, and finding a school that has courses that you're interested in, okay? Because this is a really good time for you to get to kind of test the waters and see who has courses that are appealing to you, because this is, kind of your time to go, is this something I'm even interested in? Is this a field I might like? You don't have to spend your money to try this right now. So what better time to kind of figure it out? And PSEO is a nice time for you to, kind of dip your toe into college and maybe just try one class. So this is also another time for students who are kind of on the fence about college too, to maybe just take one college class. And maybe it doesn't have to be like an intro to composition or an intro to lit or, pre-calculus. Maybe it is just, a little bit lighter class, like even an art class, or I don't know, like auto mechanics, something that might be fun, but just an opportunity for you to get to experience a campus course if you want to go in person, and to get to experience the intensity of college, and to get to experience a professor who is going to treat you differently than a high school teacher. So there's a lot of different things that a college class is going to, a lot of different ways it will be different than a high school class. And so that's why I like to encourage students to try PSEO, because you're still going to be living at home. You're still going to have the support of your high school counselor and your other teachers at high school who can support you and help guide you through that class, even though you're taking it at college. So and it's free, right? So, you know, maybe just try one PSEO class that first semester, see how it goes. If it goes really well, then maybe the next semester try a couple more. And, you know, if it goes well, like I said, you know, over a couple years, maybe you do what I did and you get all of your generals done so that, you know, you're able to then transfer on to a college of your choice, and you just do your your major classes, and you're able to be done in 2 years, you know, and have minimal loans then, and you can move on with your life really quickly. So there's just a lot of great options with this. So where I was trying to get at with that was just talking about how you're going to pick the colleges that you want to apply to. If you already have colleges in mind, though, that maybe you want to go to after high school, this is a great way for you to try it out. I have had students who, you know, one fall they applied to one of the schools that they thought that they wanted to go to, and then in the spring they went to another school that they thought that they maybe wanted to go to. And so each semester they tried a different school. You can certainly do it that way if you want, or you can just pick one school and stick with it the whole time. It's entirely up to you. You have so many options with PSEO, which is really nice. So I want to encourage you to try it. There are other options to taking college as well. So you do have what's called CIS, or College in the Schools, which is what oftentimes your high school is going to encourage you to do because it keeps the money within the school. And I know a lot of times the schools want to do that. When you take PSEO classes, the money leaves the school and gets paid to the college. I think it's a better experience for you as a high school student to take the class in the college, because that is the real experience that you're going to be having if you go off to college. Okay, and I want you to get that real experience before you have to pay for it yourself, so that you know if that's really going to be for you, you know, before you go and have to pay $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a class. But so you do have the CIS option where you would be in your physical high school. Not every high school offers that, but some of them do. And so you could take a college class in your high school, you know, and be taking a class with your classmates in your high school and earn college credit that way. So, you know, for some of you, that might be a really good option. There's also the AP option, which is advanced placement classes. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, that's what I want to do because that looks really good on my transcript. I have personal feelings about it. But what I want to say about that is not every college accepts advanced placement credits. Okay. Every college can pick and choose what they want to accept. And I'm going to do a whole nother video on transfer credits. So watch for that to come. But the thing about AP classes is, yes, it's going to look great that you have taken an advanced class. It always does, right? Versus taking a standard level class. So that looks good. Yes, go for it if that's what you want to do, if you'd like to push yourself. But your whole credit is based on one test, right? At the end of that class. You know, whether you get 4 credits or 2 credits, it's all based on that final test. So I don't like to encourage someone to let all of their credits ride on a test. That just feels icky to me. And then to also know that you may eventually pick a college that doesn't even accept those credits. So it's just something I like to encourage you to think about is like, you know, yes, you need that high school credit, but, you know, was it all worth all of the effort that went into that AP class? So just to recap, like you have PSEO options in Minnesota, you have AP classes, and some schools have CIS classes. Okay, so you have 3 different options to get college credit when you're in high school, different ways to get free college credit when you're in high school. Okay, and I am going to make another video that will explain what you need to do to be careful so that when you are doing these college credits, you can make sure that they will transfer on to wherever your next college is, right? Because no matter what, you're going to go somewhere else with those credits, right? Especially if you took them like in your high school, you know, like they're going to have to go and transfer to the next school that you want to go to. So it's important to make sure that all that hard work that you did on those college classes will go and be directly applied, you know, one-to-one, meaning if I took an introduction to psychology class that was worth 4 credits, that at the next school, they're going to say, yep, we're counting that as an introduction to psychology class and we're giving you 4 credits for it. Because some schools will say, okay, yeah, we'll count it as intro to psych, but we're only going to give you 2 credits for it. Because they can do that. They can say that that doesn't cover as much information as our intro to psych does. So we're only going to give you 2 credits for it. And so, you know, a lot of that hard work that you just went through kind of feels like it was for nothing. And we don't want that to happen. So again, I'll go through that in another video, which I will post to my page. So make sure to like and subscribe so that you get those notifications. And let me know if you have questions. But PSEO is a fantastic option to save you a lot of money. So I hope that you will take the time to meet with your counselor and ask them about PSEO. Or if you feel like your counselor is not available to you or they just don't have time to meet with everyone, you can pick a college that you're interested in going to. And every college in Minnesota has a PSEO advising department and you can meet directly with them. Okay. Once you've done that, you will need to meet with someone at your high school to have them sign what's called an NOSR form. It's a notice of supplemental registration. So someone from your high school has to sign off on it. And really, you do need to talk with your advisor, your counselor at your high school to figure out your schedule to make sure, you know, that you're taking the right classes you need. So hopefully your counselor can make time for you. But if you are running into a time crunch, you can always apply for PSEO and then meet with your high school counselor and figure out, you know, all of the scheduling type stuff. Because applying doesn't mean you're signing up for anything. It's just telling them, hey, I'm interested. Please look at me. Let's talk more, right? That's all it does. It doesn't mean you're signing any financial documents or anything like that because they don't need you to do the FAFSA. They don't need any tax information, anything like that. So if you're interested in some schools, if deadlines are looming, go ahead. Feel free to just send them your information. Let them look at you. Let them get a feel for who you are. Okay? And then make sure to set up an appointment with your high school counselor or whoever would talk to you about PSEO. Okay? And then again, like I said, make sure to look for my next video, which is going to be on transferring credits, because that's going to be very, very important if you do any college classes while you're in high school. So take care and keep doing your best.